Hi everyone, welcome to the very first Plodalong Live. And today we've just got me, Alice, we've got Charlie, and we've got Gemma. And we are starting our Women's Prize Plodalong today.
Excited.
Yeah.
We've been so excited all day that we're now like,
Yeah. I feel like the day up until 6 o'clock was like the longest day in the world, and the 2 hours between has been like the shortest 2 hours ever.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, as we scramble to find out what these books are.
Yeah. Alice has been sending us alerts every hour to let us know how much closer we are.
Yeah. It's been a busy day in that sense.
And then after the hour, it was like minute by minute virtually.
Oh,
hello, everybody.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. But for some reason, I totally forgot about looking at comments. I was like, what happens now? So we have Kit. Hi, Kit. And Sonia. Hi, Sonia.
Hello.
And we've got Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi, Jennifer.
Just good big waves to everybody.
Hi, Kellyanne. And Ange is waving.
Oh, there's me.
And hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
And hi, Justine. Hello, everyone. So glad to have you here. And yeah, let us know. Oh, we've got Jen as well. Hi, Jen. Let us know in the chat there, what do you think of the long list? We finally have it. It's finally here. And the last 2 hours have been lots of excitement and searching for these books. So let us know if you've got any of these books, if you've read any of these books, what you plan to start with, that sort of thing. Yeah, let us know all the things.
Get it all off your chest.
Yeah. Tell us everything. So
the good, the bad, and the ugly, whatever it is.
So, yeah, do we have some initial thoughts?
It was surprising, I think.
Very surprising.
But I'm quite pleased with it. There's a few on there that I really wanted to be on there, like. But there's so many that I've never heard of, and you look them up on Goodreads and you've got like 5 like reviews, and you're like, oh, yeah, a really nice list, I think, for discovering some new authors and new books.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's so nice to have a whole like load of surprises and like new things to dive into. So yeah, I'm so excited for it.
I mean, I don't know why I'm actually surprised, because earlier today I was like, I bet you, well, in fact, for months I've been saying at least 10 of the 16 books I will never have heard of. And then that's pretty much what's happened.
So all of us, to be fair.
But some of these I've come across only because people have been talking about them in their predictions. A few of them I have never ever heard of. And obviously a few are the big ones that we were kind of hoping for, but only a couple of them.
Yeah, less big ones than we thought. Like
the big ones.
Yeah.
The Marriage Portrait.
Yes.
And Gemma's just held up Demon Copperhead as well. I think those are the big two, aren't they?
I think
we kind of
predicted quite a lot.
Yeah, I nearly predicted Trespasses. Charlie, you predicted that, didn't you?
Yeah.
And Gemma, you had Memphis as well, didn't you? I think Memphis was quite a talked about choice. That one's been out for a while. But I think quite a few of them, from what I can tell, are only just coming out now.
Yeah.
Or have only been out like a week or so.
And there's one that's due out in a week, isn't there? That's the Dog of the North is out the 14th.
Yes. Yeah, so we've got some reactions. Kit says, I've read Zero, was planning to start Memphis this evening, so glad that's on there to start on. Can't read today, so glad that's on there to start on the long list. Yeah, I'm very, very glad that there's one that's on my shelf so I can start it. Kellyanne says, it was an interesting mix for sure. I want to start with Demon Copperhead. I'm really hopeful about Demon Copperhead because my mum is getting it in from the library and she's going to let me have a go with it.
I've read it. It's a good one. I feel like Demon Copperhead's a safe bet for most people. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I think it was the one I saw on most prediction videos.
Yeah.
Kit says, I think I gasped so many times. Yeah. I was just like, never heard of.
I was
What
like,
is
what?
this?
What?
All these covers appearing in quick succession, and I was like,
Yeah. Some were not at all unexpected, but quite a few I haven't heard of. Agree.
Yeah.
Interesting list. Glad Demon Copperhead made it. Me too.
I'm with UK, yeah.
Really looking forward to that one. Jen says, I'm starting with Trespasses because I was already reading it. Victory.
Yay!
Always good. Always good. And Laurie, hi Laurie, says, I own The Marriage Portrait, Demon Copperhead and Stoneblind. Haven't read any of them. Excited to push them to the top of the pile. I think that's one of the really fun things about waiting for the long list is you're kind of hoping that stuff you've bought and not quite got to yet or really, really want an excuse to get to. When it's on there, you're like, yes, I can read it.
You bump it up,
I do have quite a few other books on my shelf that could have been long listed. That you know.
Yeah, I had three others that I owned that could have made it, but they didn't. So we don't have those. Can't wait for the BookTube reviews to start pouring in. Yes.
Oh yes, yeah.
Definitely.
Thick and
I
fast.
can't wait to hear what people think when they start reading these ones that I've never heard of, because I've got no idea what they're going to be like. I've read 2, Memphis and The Marriage Portrait, and have 2 on my shelves, Demon Copperhead and The Bandit Queens. Not a bad start, indeed, Justine. Very good.
Bandit Queens sounds great, actually. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yes. I don't think I'd actually ever heard of it, but as soon as the judges started saying what it was about, I was like, why have I not heard of this? This sounds amazing.
Yeah, I heard, I think I saw it on a publisher, literally, it was only like last week, I saw The Bandit Queens, I saw pop up on one of the publishers' things, and I was like, oh my days, yeah.
Summer 99p on Kindle, so quick, everyone.
Yes, I'm a fan, and Trespassers.
Yeah, literally, I was just going to say.
Oh, sorry, I jumped in.
That's
right. Question, do we need to know about David Copperfield to enjoy Demon Copperhead? Charlie?
No, you don't. I don't think you do. I feel like I felt really conflicted about it because when I was reading it, I kept on thinking back to David Copperfield, and I feel like that messed with my head so much as I was reading it. And I honestly think if you kind of just read Demon Copperhead as it is and kind of for what it is, you will get so much more out of it. That's my personal opinion on it. Like, obviously, if you've read David Copperfield, brilliant. Brilliant. But I don't think you need to have read it at all.
Yeah. I feel like I've read David Copperfield long enough ago that I have actually forgotten significant portions of it, so I'll be fine.
I think
I read it when the recent film was coming out, so like 2020, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's probably the better way to do it if I have anything. But yeah, do it.
Emily says, just flying on to say hi. Last year was the year of long books. This year they all seem much shorter.
Yes.
Jem was saying this because you've got like stats about that, haven't you, Jem?
Yeah, I think there's 7 that are under 300 pages and there's 2 that are just over 300 pages. So that's like 9 out of the 16 that are like what I would call short. So
that bodes well for anyone who's going to be trying to go for the full 16.
I think this is the only one over 500 pages.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can cope with that. Jane Evans says, I'll be starting with I'm a Fan because I just got it from the library. Haven't read anything on the list yet, though.
Yeah.
Cool. I think I'm a Fan was one of the only ones I can't get in my library, which is a bit of a shame. And Ange said, I only owned Glory. Now I have another 3. Surprise, Ange.
I can do.
So surprised. Tomorrow ×3, Night Crawling and Rabbit Hutch aren't there. I've read none of them. I'm really, really surprised about all of those, actually.
Yes, I would agree. I'm really disappointed for Night Crawling though, because I loved the book and I think it deserved more hype.
I'm really disappointed because I just finished it on audiobook and I thought I would be ahead.
So annoying when that happened.
No. And Jennifer Loves Book says, very pleased to see Cursed Bread there. I've not read it yet, but I loved Sophie McIntosh's previous 2 books. Brilliant.
Sophie McIntosh.
I only first came across Cursed Bread in somebody's prediction video, but I can't remember whose. It might have been Ben's.
It was Ben, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, that sounds really intriguing. Like,
so Sophie McIntosh, was she longlisted? Which one book was she listed previously for?
I don't know.
I think she's been previously listed for. It's either the Booker or for the Women's Prize. I might have to look it up. Sorry, I'll just.
I'm not
I think
sure.
was she the Water Cure? Was she the one that did the Water Cure, or am I thinking of a different author?
She did do the Water Cure, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was previously listed for.
That was listed for the Booker Prize.
Okay, the Booker. So I know she's got prize. She's got prize winning, probably not winning, but
she has got credentials there. And
there we go.
Yeah, Jennifer said the Water Cure.
Yeah,
Kit knows as well.
It's just us.
Yeah, Jenny, like Google, I've got you guys here.
Jenny has found about 4 on Script, so I think you two have been on Script, haven't you?
Oh, what's this? The 4th, Jenny? If you know what the 4th is, let us know what the 4th is. Because in fact, did you find 3?
It might be Demon Copperhead.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, that is on there.
So also Black Butterfly sounds amazing. I've reserved that at the library. Another one my library didn't have. Sad about that. Pod I'm intrigued by. Yeah, I was just madly reserving things on the library without even like looking at blurbs or anything. And as I was reserving Pod, I was like, "It's narrated by a dolphin. Is it?" I think I messaged you too and was like, "Am I actually reading this right?" I thought I might have gone into some kind of.
We've had cows, so why not dolphins?
And I didn't realize it was the same author as The Bees either, which I haven't read, but I've heard really good things about. So
I didn't know that either. I haven't actually heard of the author or The Bees. So
exciting.
There we go. Right.
You're out of the loop.
So we've had some initial thoughts.
Yeah.
What was your biggest surprise? I think it's a list of surprises, really, isn't it?
A list of surprises. I was surprised to see a dolphin narrated book on the list.
Yeah, same.
I will say that.
I think when we started out, the first book was Cursed Bread, wasn't it? I was like, yeah, that was in someone's prediction video. Then they said The Dog of the North. I was like, I've never heard of that.
Paradise. I've never heard of Children of Paradise before. Like, and
that sounds really good. I'm really intrigued by that one.
Cinema one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then
they said Glory, and I was like, okay, yeah, we know about Glory on the Booker. And then like the rest of the list, I was like, what? But I'm really pleased to see Fire Rush on there because I think I had an email from, I can't remember which bookshop last week, and I sent it to you two, didn't I? I was like, look at this book. This looks like a women's prize book. And here it is.
It's blurred by Irinosi Okaji as well, wasn't it? And she's one of the judges. So
yes, you pointed that out. Yeah, I remember.
So I was like, there you go.
Yes. Kit says, I tried to read The Water Cure, but wasn't a fan of the writing style, so I'm not sure if I'll try Cursed Bread until I hear reviews.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to get to that one. And I have reserved that one at the library, but I think it's quite a recent release. So I think my library's got it on order, which means it'll take a bit longer.
Yeah, me too.
I'll put a reservation in and I'm 12th in the queue.
I haven't checked how far, over all of my library reserves, I haven't actually checked how far along I am. So you're so good at like knowing where you are on the list, because I'm like, I have to go back and look to see where I am.
Well, I said, because I thought, holy moly, I'm 12th. And that was like the first one I went to reserve. But the other thing I've reserved, I'm 3rd.
No, I think I did. I didn't write it down, but I think I did quite well on Cursed Bread because I think they were ordering in like 10 or something, and there were 7 reserves. So I was like, quick.
Honestly, it's like so frantic. As soon as you find out the list, I feel like you guys are probably all the same. It's like quick. First, I have like a priority. So first of all, it's the library, and then it's sort of like, isn't it? So you have to like.
Yeah, I did first, but
then
script.
Sorry.
I did Libby first, but none that I don't already own were on Libby.
I got one from Libby, which was Stone Blind on audio.
Oh yeah, I've read that one.
Because when I search the library, it comes up if it's Borrow Box, because I only have Borrow Box, so it comes up if it's a Borrow Box. So I don't need to search across.
Yeah, that was what I was doing there too. Oh wow, that is a long wait. It's number 87 in line for the marriage portrait. That's quite a wait.
Longlist, yeah.
Honestly, the marriage portrait was already popular before it was longlisted.
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm very glad I accidentally bought myself it for Christmas. Which is the actual story behind that is that I actually bought it for my mum. It hadn't actually wrapped it yet, but was about to. And my mum's like, look what I got in my charity shop for £1. And I was like, wow, you couldn't turn that down. That is excellent. But that was your Christmas present. So I kept that.
That's a massive bargain finding that for £1. Can you imagine?
I know. And her copy was equal. It was absolutely identical to the copy I'd had through that I'd ordered. Like, no, it did not even look like someone had read it. £1. Amazing. Pod and I am a fan. I was definitely surprised by. I was like, what? I'm awaiting reviews before I read it. Yeah.
But I'm a fan's very short, so whatever it is, I feel like that's like low commitment. It's like
that's one I'm quite intrigued by and looking forward to. But then I couldn't actually get it anywhere, so it'll be one I'll read later. I think.
Well, Pod's under 300 pages.
Yeah, 272 pages. Pod is.
Yes.
And BJ says I enjoyed the bees.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Now I've got photo for the bees.
Yeah, we're gonna want to go back.
And Sarah says, I keep missing bits due to the kids' bedtime. And my husband is on a loud work call. Oh dear.
Oh, rubbish. Charlie luckily fell asleep really early tonight because he was so pooped from school. So like half 6. I was like, this is perfect.
We've got Harry already, and he normally comes in at 9:15, as you know. It's 8:15, so unlucky.
Yeah, because he's gonna want his food.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have Harry for a while.
Oh, that's
Jen says,
sorry,
wait, that go away again. Books narrated by animals really freak me out. I'm worried.
Oh, bless you. Have you guys like, because for me, if there's anything that would freak me out, it's anything to do with bugs. So I don't think there's anything with bugs on here. So I'm like, yes, I'm fine. Have either of you got any like things in books?
I think there's pretty much nothing that I wouldn't try. In terms of reading,
but if it was like butterflies and moths, I'd be
like, no, I'm okay with everything I do.
So Jen, I completely understand your feeling with that. Is what I mean.
Using Spiders for the library reservations, but I can't see where I am in the queue. Now I'm curious. I think mine is Spiders as well, and you go in. If you go into your reservation, you should be able to see it, but I wouldn't know how to navigate you to that. But yeah, I check mine sometimes daily, so that's quite sad. Wouldn't recommend doing that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's like getting a present.
I need to calm down from the excitement.
Yeah.
So, what is everybody surprised didn't appear on the list? I think this is a bit more.
I know which one is my biggest thing that's not on there. A Spell of Good Things by Ayobami Adebayo. I was sure it was going to be on there.
Yes. I heard loads about that.
Yeah.
And ever since you predicted it, I've been like, I should have predicted that.
Yeah, me too. And I've reserved it on Libby. And now I'm just going to have to keep bumping the hold until after the women's prize is finished.
Definitely. What am I really surprised about? I think tomorrow and tomorrow. Someone's already said that, but I was really surprised not to see that.
I was a bit disappointed not to see Shrines of Gaiety.
Oh yeah, the Kate Atkinson. I was surprised about that too.
I reserved that twice from my library app. I reserved the audiobook and I reserved the ebook because I wanted to see which one. Like I'm better with audiobooks generally. But I was like, well, if I don't get on with the ebook, then I've still got the audiobook to fall back on. Now I don't even need to read the ebook.
Yeah.
I will read it at some point. But now it's bumped till like
not
as much of a rush.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised about. What was I really surprised about? Oh, earlier today, I think it was Ben said on his channel that he'd heard strong rumours for Ruth and Penn, which was one that I predicted, and I was like, "Oh, I predicted that! So excited!" And
yeah,
no,
Scott sent me an email about that as well.
And I'm really gutted that Marmay's not on there, and that's gonna be one I
I'm
buy and
surprised
read.
by that. A lot of people have been saying about that.
I'm definitely gonna buy it. I'm definitely gonna read it. So it doesn't matter. It's just
and Burnham Woods. Everyone was talking about Burnham Woods.
Oh yeah, Eleanor.
That'll
be the booker, won't it? That's going to be the booker.
It might be the booker, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Didn't her other book win the booker?
Charlie wasn't on there. Was it
Someday Maybe? Oh, yeah, I love that book. Do you know what though? Because I'm so protective of it, I'm kind of glad that. No, I'm not glad that it didn't make it, but in one way I'm glad, in one way I'm not. You know what I mean?
Because people won't be slagging it off.
Yeah. It's like my little thing about it.
So Sarah says, Leanne, if you look at your reservations not yet available, it tells you where you are in the queue. Yeah, I think so. The Rabbit Hutch and A Spell of Good Things. Yeah, returning those to the library now. Yeah, we can get those out at a later date.
Yeah, that's what Scott said as well. He sent me a picture. And I was like, how do you even know that's the book?
Maybe they just fancied reading it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we can still get to these books. It's not like they're going anywhere.
We will. We just might not get to them till July now.
Like 2028.
So we haven't really covered this yet, but have we read any of them already?
I have read 4.
4? You've got a head start on us then, Charlie.
That was the kind of number, like, being honest, that was the kind of number I was hoping to have read, because then it's kind of gets me in a good space. I've got 3 months. Is it 3 months to read 12 books? So yeah. I've read
totally doable.
Yeah, I've read The Marriage Portrait, Demon Copperhead. What the other 2 have I read? You guys all know the other ones. Memphis. And what's the other one? Glory.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I've only read Glory, but I'm not allowed to talk about it because of the BookTube prize at the moment, because I read it for that. So what about you, Jem? What have you read?
Well, I DNF'd Glory. I did not like it.
No comment.
I'm just going to put that out there now. Like, horses drinking tea, not my jam.
Yeah.
And I read Stone Blind, and I didn't really like that either. I didn't dislike it, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I think sometimes that's the worst thing, isn't it?
Well, you do have a record for DNFing the winner, Jem, so probably one of those to win then.
So Glory to win.
Also, again, with Natalie Haynes, she was longlisted. She was a Women's Prize longlisted. She was longlisted for 1,000 ships, I believe, in I don't know which year.
Oh yes.
Yeah. But I read that.
I really liked that one.
Yeah, I love that book.
I liked that one. Just Stone Blind, not so much. Can't win, can you?
It's a shame.
It is a shame. It's not an awful book, but it just,
I say out of the 4 that I've read, my favourite was Demon Copperhead.
I'm so excited to get to it.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. I've got to wait for my mum to read it. I think it's arriving at her library very soon. But she'll be through that in a couple of days. I have lost where I am in the comments, unfortunately. If you could only pick one book to read from the long list which you haven't read already, which would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Ooh.
Let me have a think.
I mean, Demon Copperhead's the one I've been most anticipating.
Yeah.
Which one?
Probably Demon Copperhead.
Demon Copperhead. Let me think. I've got 2. I've got to narrow it down to 2. Have I got to pick one?
Yeah.
You've got to pick one. You only
I'm gonna pick. Okay. The one I would pick is Wandering Souls, that I haven't out of that I haven't read. Yeah, it's Wandering Souls.
It's true. If I was picking one that wasn't Demon Copperhead, just to be different, I would probably pick. I would pick between Children of Paradise and the Bandit Queens.
Yeah, the Bandit Queens.
Probably going to go with Bandit Queens if I was going for something other than Demon Copperhead, which I'm not. Yeah. That is a very tricky question. We are very indecisive people.
What would you say, Jem?
Well, like all of these, but if I was going to pick one that was less well known, I'm really excited for Pod.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pod does sound really out there. I am excited for that.
Yeah.
So Francis Morris says, hello from Oklahoma. I'm confused. Homesick by Jennifer Croft was published in the States as a memoir.
Yes,
I've also got.
Yeah, interesting.
What did you say, Jen?
I saw that it had been published in the States as a memoir, but I think it's like a fictional memoir. Is that what you were going to say, Charlie?
I was going to say I saw it was published previously published in 2019, which I'm guessing was in the US, like you said, and yeah. So
interesting, because it did sound like, from the blurb of that, it did sound like the sort of book that could be based on someone's life.
Maybe it's auto fiction.
Oh.
Could be.
We like a bit of that, don't we? I think we like a bit of that. Do we? Yeah. I like a bit of that. I'm going to say
by the premise, because it's about two sisters, and I know that's Charlie's jam. Two sisters, or many sisters. Any homeschooled in Oklahoma, and one of the sisters is having seizures and having to have like surgeries in hospital, and it's supposed to be like quite a coming of age book. So I do like the sound of that, but whether it's been previously published as a memoir, I don't know. Jen the librarian says, not read a single one. Sad times.
That's sad.
That just means more books to find, though, Jen. And just more books to discover. So
it says, Charlie, you're putting us all to shame.
You are. Charlie is putting us to shame.
Kellyanne's read 0.
Hey.
And Leanne said, 45 of 46 in the queue for Marriage Portrait.
Bless you. It will be worth the wait. Honestly, I do think you guys will enjoy. I think a lot of you will enjoy the Marriage Portrait. So yeah, I do.
Libraries will buy in some more copies as well.
Yeah. And sometimes, if there's a huge amount of demand, they do start buying in more copies, don't they?
Yeah.
BG says, are most of you on the chat from the UK? I don't think this prize is stressed as much in the US. Good question. I think we've got a lot of people in from the UK tonight.
Maybe tell us about if you want to. Don't only tell us if you want to. Say in the chat where you're. Maybe write a little comment where you're from, and then we can see roughly. You don't have to. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Obviously.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it. I would say it probably is stressed a bit more in the UK. It's more of a UK prize.
It's a prize, isn't it? It's based on UK publishing dates, and like the events are all in the UK. I guess the National Book Award would be a similar thing in the US, but obviously not for women. So, and we don't really follow the National Book Award here as much, do we?
Well, let's see. Loads of
lots of things, but also Ange says Eric Carl Anderson was saying it was previously published, I think, in Spanish and as short stories, and this is a new rewrite.
Oh,
going to watch his video again. I've missed that video.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I don't remember hearing about this book.
I can't wait to watch all of the videos. Actually, I can't wait to go back and like see what everyone's thinking about all of the books.
So we've got some places, UK. We've got Canada.
Can we just keep a lot of them, and then I can try and.
Another in the UK. So
UK.
2 UK, 1 Canada so far.
Okay.
Another UK.
Okay. Got it.
US.
Talia. Hi.
Talia. Kellyanne's in New York.
Another US.
In the UK.
Okay.
Laurie Miller's in the US.
Okay.
But loves BookTube, and that's what got her interested in this prize. Dory is here and she's in the US.
So it's fairly equal at the minute.
Kate is in the UK. And Alison loves the bees. And is in the UK.
Bees FOMO. I'm going to have to read the bees.
I have to write this down, seriously.
But you haven't got to read the bees before you read the other book by the same author.
I get so excited.
I've even forgotten what the other book is now.
Was it Pod? Was she the author of Pod? No, that was a different one. I don't remember. It might have been Pod.
It was. I think it was Pod. I'm in the US.
Joey is in the US. Jennifer Noble is in the UK, and Jane Evans in the UK.
Oh, okay. So the UK is just tipping it for now.
Okay. Yes. So I can't even remember what topic we were on. Had we read any of the books? So, most anticipated, we have covered a little bit, was my next heading. Yeah, we've slightly already done that question.
We've definitely already done that.
Yeah. But yeah.
Maybe say top 3. What would you say for top 3? Like, apart from what you've read, top 3.
I'm going to say a top 3 books that I've never heard of, but I now urgently want to read.
Yeah.
They would be The Bandit Queens, Children of Paradise, and I don't know what would be third because I'm quite looking forward to quite a lot of them. Probably Cursed Bread.
I think I'm going to say Homesick because it's got sisters on it. I'm going to say The Bandit Queens just because it looks amazing, and Wandering Souls because, like I said, I'm excited to read it.
I think obviously I'm going to go Podge. I think Wandering Souls as well, Charlie, and Fire Rush.
Yes, Fire Rush does.
The one we haven't really talked about, Black Butterflies. That looks amazing as well.
I love the title of Black Butterflies.
So,
because it's a teacher. So it's set in 1992. It's a teacher called Zora, I think her name is, and obviously the trouble's kicking off in Sarajevo at that time, and she gets her family to leave, I think, and she stays behind, and that's when it all kicks off. So I'm like, that does sound good. Like, obviously hard.
Actually, I might find that one above Wandering Souls.
So historical fiction set in the 90s for that one.
Yeah.
Is that historical fiction if it was set in the 90s?
I think honestly, it's starting to be historical fiction, and it's scary.
No. I was looking up the genres for it. Well, Charlie was helping me. He was so lovely. Thank you, Charlie, if you're watching. I don't know if you are. And we were going through and writing them, and he says historical fiction. He was reading the blurb about it, and it said the 90s. I'm, no, that's not historical fiction.
Definitely
but
not.
The other day, I realised that 1999 is not far off being 25 years ago, and I was terrified.
Let's not talk about that.
No, we don't talk about that. Sorry.
Yeah, you guys tell us what top 3 you're excited for. Let us know what your top 3. Tell us in the comments.
So, Black Butterflies, Wandering Souls, and Children of Paradise for Kellyanne.
Oh, that's honestly, those.
DJ said The Pod is by the Bees also, yeah. And most of the ones I've looked up so far are not available in the US yet. That's a shame.
Oh, interesting.
What was I up to? Talia says, I haven't read any of these, but some of the covers, there are some really stunning covers. So
there are some really good covers, but also there are some covers that I don't think, well, I haven't read them, but I kind of think, I don't know.
Yeah.
So top 3 for Kit: Wandering Souls, Memphis, and Trespasses. Yes, Trespasses is another one that I really wished I'd predicted.
I wish I predicted too.
Yeah, and I've been interested to read that. So my mum read that about a few months ago.
Oh, did she?
We have talked about it, and I nearly borrowed it from her and read it, but I didn't.
How you will.
And it's gone back to the library.
Okay.
So I've ordered that one from the library again. Oh, sorry, Anne. I've made Anne feel old.
Honestly, Anne,
feel old.
Seriously.
We shouldn't talk about the 90s being this long ago. I'm going to try to read 8 of the list before the shortlist is announced. Ambitious. Right now, I'm most excited about the Bandit Queens.
Yeah. So the Bandit Queens, the premise, it says, well, the few words I've got written down is feminist revenge thriller, and I was like, that's not good. Like,
that is a great 3 words.
I'm like, that sounds amazing. And the cover for that is.
I agree. Definitely not historical.
Okay, but I have been reading historical fictions that are set in the 80s, and it's not that far of a stretch.
Oh no. The 90s was my childhood.
It's like before I was born. So anything before 1987 is historical fiction.
I'm not going to say the year I was born because I'm the oldest of all of you. I'm Grandma Charlie.
I don't think you're a grandma.
No.
Hardly. Right. says, read a book the other day and the author was born in 1909. I was like, oh, a child wrote this. I do think when I see like author bios and I'm like 1999, I'm like, they're so young. It's very
That's a whole other
confusing.
Like this.
Jane.
So Marriage Portrait, Cursed Bread, and The Bandit Queens for me.
That's a strong 3. Yeah.
Very strong 3. And I feel bad not saying Marriage Portrait in mine because it is the one I have in my hand to read. But and obviously that means I must have been anticipating it to buy it. But yeah.
The 4 that I own are the ones that I'm most anticipating.
Yeah,
but that would be a boring answer.
So Black Butterflies is top of Jen's list. Sounds Up My Street. Loving Trespasses so far. That's great to hear.
It's good that you're enjoying it because it means that it kind of makes us more excited for it, I think.
Yeah.
But see, Trespasses and like The Troubles in Northern Ireland, that's like early 90s, is it not? And we would call that historical fiction.
No, we wouldn't, Alice. No,
what would we call it then? What is it called?
Contemporary.
Right, okay.
Modern. This is
Contemporary it is.
Honestly, you guys, seriously, you guys watching the chat we've had today, like honestly, you wouldn't even believe it.
There's been a lot of excitement. Laurie says, I'm horrible. I want you professionals to read them and tell me what's good.
That's fair.
Very nice of you to call us professionals.
I'm not professional.
No way professional.
I think you could probably tell. I don't feel very professional. Right, so Jennifer Loves Books says, my library only has 8 of the long list.
More than mine.
How many mine has because I've ordered them all. 1, 2.
I think my library's got more. That's more than my library's got.
3, 4.
I don't even know. What did I write down?
I reserved 7 from the library.
I only reserved 2.
Think that, and obviously my mum's actually getting Demon Copperhead from the library, so that is technically in the library, so that's 8. And I got one of them off Libby, so that's 9. I'm going to count that.
I think because I think the 4 that I'd previously read, I think they were available at the library. So really, I said I've reserved there was only 2, but
yes, and the one I've read was from the library 6. As well.
That would make it 6.
So I reckon my library's got about 10 of them. It definitely didn't. It didn't have Black Butterflies. They didn't have Homesick. They didn't have I'm a Fan.
No.
And they were going to have Fire Rush, but they'd only got 1 copy on order, so I didn't order that. I'm going to get the audiobook. Yes. And says, I graduated from uni in 1997.
I had a primary school, Ange.
I think was I doing my GCSEs in 97? I don't.
I was in high school by then. Just about.
I think I was doing because I think that's I was doing.
So Leanne's decided on 5 for now: Cursed Bread, Trespasses, I'm a Fan, Black Butterflies, and The Marriage Portrait. 7 weeks until the shortlist, so 5 feels realistic.
They sound like good books. Yeah.
Good choices. What's the betting that all our library reserves all come in at once and we can't read them all?
We got 2.
Yeah.
So Kate is going for Wandering Souls, Trespass, and Bandit Queens.
Honestly, I'm so excited for Wandering Souls. Like I know that because it's really short. It's about it's you said is it generational families sort of saga thing, and then it's got mythological elements, which I'm like, yes.
That does sound good. It does sound good. Yeah. Short, isn't it?
It's short.
When I read the blurb of that, I did think this is a Gemma book. It's definitely one of yours, I would say.
Right, I've downloaded it on Scribd. It's ready to go.
Ooh, Kit's asking the juicy question.
Kit. Any books
Glory!
100% not reading? No.
I'm definitely not.
Honestly, you guys say yours first because I've got an answer for it. You say.
I haven't ruled anything out just yet.
Else. I will try everything on that list apart from Glory, which I've already tried and didn't like. So,
what about you, Alice?
Well, I've already read Glory for BookTube Prize.
We're not commenting on that.
Not commenting until April, but yes, there's nothing that I wouldn't give a go to there.
Some of them
are definitely not in my comfort genres.
There's I'll be honest with you guys. So I went through all these books, and the only one I hadn't been able to like, because I haven't purchased or reserved or whatever like that, because I've literally gone through every single book because this is who I am. And the only book that I left till last and haven't touched is The Dog of the North, but
it's not released yet.
It's not released yet. I know that. That's not really a problem. But I'm going to wait for my sister. So Emily from Naval Novels. Emily, if you're watching, which I don't know whether she is or not. It's her kind of book. So I think I'm just going to nab it from her.
I think that is a high probability for me to DNF.
Yeah, I did immediately reserve it at the library without reading the blurb, and then I read the blurb afterwards, and I was like, oh, interesting.
Like The Exhibitionist of 2023.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I'm wondering if it was more like Flamingo, which you really didn't like.
That was my worst book of last year, wasn't it? Flamingo?
I wondered if it was in the camp of that.
That was the only book from the Longlist last year. So you guys, I read the Longlist last year, the whole Longlist last year, and that's the Flamingo was the only book I DNF'd.
It was pants.
But I'm only comparing. I haven't actually read Flamingo, and I probably won't.
Oh, you're missing out, Alice.
Yes.
I don't think I probably am. But The Dog of the North, I do think there are some things that appeal to me about it. But there are also things that make me think this is not a genre that I normally read.
I feel like it's the kind of book my mum would love. Do you know what I mean? It's the kind of book my mum would love, which isn't like a bad thing, because those books are brilliant, like books.
It doesn't sound traumatic enough to me. It doesn't sound like someone's going to get like murdered or like run over by the camper van.
It did sound a bit cheerful.
It did sound too cheerful for my
Maybe it's a book to save before you go to bed. You know, it's like that cozy kind of book that we could be all wrong. Honestly, we could find out there's a serial killer in there. Like, we don't know.
And also, the reason I say I'm completely reserving judgment is because last year's Longlist, I would literally never in a million years have picked up Careless.
Yeah.
And like, I picked it on a whim for a buddy read with you, didn't I? Because we were like, what is there on Audible? Oh, Careless. Oh, that doesn't sound like I would normally read that. But I was like, okay, let's do it. And it was one of my best books of last year.
Yeah.
And I would be sad if I had not read it, because it sounded like a book that I don't normally read. So I'm keeping a completely open mind this year, because a lot of these might be in genres that I don't always read, but
that's the reason why
they might be the best book that I haven't read yet.
The reason why we read the book the prize is because it pushes you outside your comfort zone. There are books on here that are 100% like the Pod one is not really a Charlie book, but it could surprise me, and this is what I want. This is what books that surprise me always end up being my favorites of the year. Like. Yeah. More than books that you kind of think. Anyway, you guys have got to answer that question as well. So you guys.
And there must be great grandma.
Yeah, tell us which books you're not reading as well. You guys answer that question too. Tell us which books.
I won't rule out anything out totally, but the North Dog one and the Cinema one don't massively appeal. But look forward to looking in more detail. See, the Cinema one, Children of Paradise. Like the title doesn't suggest to me cinema. But then it was about cinema when I read the blurb.
Which one's that?
Sounds like it's going to be a bit dark and edgy, I think, and that's totally my jam.
I think it's going to be weird.
Which one is that?
Not my Children of Paradise.
I love weird books.
I'm not a fan of weird, so we'll see. But
I'm a massive fan of weird.
You're more into weird than I am.
I'm not sure about the Dog of the North.
Yeah.
As well. And Ange really wants to read the Dog of the North. But see, we did say before we came live, Ange, that this was a book for Ange. It's a book of camper van life.
In the North.
But I think it might be in Australia, not the actual north of England. Yeah.
Was it South of America or something? I thought
it was in Australia, but I could be wrong.
I hope it is. Either which way, it's exciting.
Yes.
Flamingo as well.
We're with you.
Stone Blind appeals to me the least. See, I'm put off Stone Blind by the fact that you didn't like it, Gem, and you are the like Greek myth type person.
I wouldn't go that far, but also I think sometimes if you've read quite a lot of Greek myth, then you're like, I don't know, not more picky, but you need different things out of it. Do you know what I mean?
But do you mean if you've read a lot of the actual Greek myths, or if you've read a lot of like retellings?
Both, but I think if like the myth that was being covered in there, I was familiar with quite a lot of it. So if it's a straight retelling of something I've already read, I'm not interested.
I get
have
that.
a take. But if it was your first time reading it, you'd probably really enjoy it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will definitely give it a go. I think I'm going to give that one a go on audiobook because I've reserved it on Libby.
I will steal it from Emily.
And Jane says, I'm intimidated by Pod. I don't usually enjoy books set in the sea. Fair enough. We'll give it a go.
It does intimidate me too, just because of like anything's kind of like what did you call it? Anthropomorphic. I can't even say the word. You say the word.
Anthropomorphic.
I'm like, yeah, okay. But no, but is it going to surprise?
I was just taken aback to read this, like, has a narrator that is a dolphin, but it does sound like an interesting story.
Also, it does sound interesting.
Like The Art of Racing in the Rain, narrated by a dog, one of the best books ever, right? So
yeah, 100%.
So yeah.
You know I love an animal narrator.
Waiting for our reviews.
I can't remember how I'm getting Pod. I've reserved it at the library. I think that will come quite quickly, actually, so I'll let you know soon.
I didn't have it. I bought it on Kindle.
I bought it on Kindle as well. Yeah.
And wants to read Children of Paradise. I feel very held back by the fact that I've not got Scribd and I don't have a Kindle in this situation.
Your library does have more stuff than like anyone else's.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you go in and buy books all the time.
Well, for the BookTube prize, I did ask them to buy 2 books, and they have actually bought them both. So I may still ask them to buy a couple of these ones if somebody else doesn't, because I thought that was amazing. Right, Jen says, I'm not going to read any I can't get from the library. Yeah, I'm not actually buying any. I'm using a couple of audiobook credits, I think, but I'm going to try not to buy. There are a lot that aren't appealing to me, but that's why I'm excited to give them a try. Yeah, same.
I've like gone, because this is like something I've been so excited for, as I think all of us have. But so I've literally saved all my bookish things for it. So that's why I've gone a bit ham and kind of over the top with it.
Sarah said, I like Stone Blind. It was funny, but I was a little disappointed as for me, it wasn't as good as Pat Barker, for instance. I loved The Silence of the Girls. I haven't read her other ones yet.
Have you read that one yet, Jem?
No, I haven't. It's on my Kindle.
Yeah, you'll really like that one, Gemma, I think.
I had this plan. So one of my BookTube goals is to reduce my books on my e-reader. And then today I've just...
You've just ruined that, Charlie, completely.
Ruined it in one day.
I must say, I was like, I've reserved 7 books from the library. And my husband, Jim, was like, what about your TBR? I was like, well, one of the books is on my TBR.
The TBR will still be there after the Women's Prize.
This is true.
It's only 3 months of our lives, you know.
True.
Every year.
Every year.
And Ange says, I am put off Stone Blind after Gem's disappointment. I love dolphins, but not sure about Pod. Fair enough.
I feel like I've put loads of people off Stone Blind, and it's not a bad book.
Well, no, I'm more disappointed by the fact that you said that, like, you wanted it. Like, it really has been billed to me as it is Medusa's story from Medusa's point of view, and you've told me it's not that. So
there is a little bit of Medusa's point of view, not much.
I wanted it to be like Medusa's story.
Yeah, the Medusa bits are 5-star, but the rest.
So we're already getting into this, but reading plans. Let us know in the comments if you haven't already. What do you plan to read first or in the next coming weeks? Some people have told us their schedule or their plans. Is anybody else? Let us know in the comments. Is anybody else going for trying to read the 16? Now, I'm not claiming I'm going to read the 16 before the shortlist.
I'm going to try. I don't know.
Charlie's going to try, but she has already read 4.
Yeah, I've already read 4. Plus, I read the 6. Well, I did the 16 last year with the DNF of Flamingo, so I know it's possible.
So I've got 15 to read, but I reckon I can read them by the end of the winner being announced.
Yeah, that's all I'm aiming for, really. I'm like if I can. I'm aiming by the winner being announced to have read the long list. We're not
the only problem is really, I suppose, with the long list, is that you do lose a bit of desire to read stuff that was on the long list that you weren't that interested in when the short list is announced, don't you?
Unless it's had really good reviews.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. So in terms of, like, you know, we're talking about reading clubs, but everyone knows what we want to get to first. But like, how would you go about it? Would you read your favourites first, or would you read your least favourite first? And then, so because there's thinking of that is, if you read your favourites first, do you know? I feel like you need to mix it, don't you? Because otherwise, yeah.
I mean, for me, because it's going to be, I think Jen already said she's going to be reading it all from the library. Because I'm predominantly going to be reading it from the library, it is all going to be a case of logistics, like what comes in, when does it come in, how much have I got to read. So definitely starting with Marriage Portrait for me, because that's what I've got on my shelf. And if I read that and nothing has come into the library yet, I will start one of the two that I'm planning to buy on Audible, which is Wandering Souls and Fire Rush.
Yeah.
And also, so do you say your thing, Jen, first?
Well, what I'm starting with, I'm going to start with Demon Copperhead on physical, and then on audio, I think I'm going to start with Children of Paradise.
Yeah. Cool. I think
it's only 4 hours on audio, and I've got to go up for weeks, so I can bash that out in one trip to the office.
Yeah, I think
that was available at the library, so I think that will be with me quite soon, that one.
I think I'll do audio book for Wandering Souls, because that's on Scribd, you said, and then I feel like I want to do one of the longer ones on my Kindle. So what's one of the longer ones? Let me think. Maybe I could do Trespassers is 3. I say a longer one because anything that's longer is basically anything that's 300 pages, because I've read the first one. So maybe I'll do, Trespassers looks interesting. Or what's the next longest one? I always like to read the longer ones and then head to the shorter, like work my way down.
Fire Rush is a longer one.
Which one?
Fire Rush.
Yeah, I think Fire Rush was 11 hours on audio.
I've got the audio bit for that. So I think I'll do Trespassers. I'll do Wandering Souls and Trespassers, like that.
So what have we got in the comments? I've lost where we are, sorry. So Leanne says, I heard something controversial about the author of Memphis and this really put me off. That's a shame when that happens. Marriage Portrait is waiting for me at the library. This is Jennifer. Jennifer, you normally have everything waiting for you at the library. Have you? You said you could only order 8 of them, didn't you? So some are waiting. Going to be waiting for you soon. Demon Copperhead first for Kellyanne, and then the Marriage Portrait. And Ange says, Amy and I have chosen 2 for our fiction addiction. Vote for April to read together. The vote is between Trespassers and the Bandit Queens.
Yeah, both of those sound amazing.
They do.
Yeah, I would read either of those, depending on how soon they come in from the library. And yeah, I didn't say with that comment though. Definitely everybody check out Ange's Fiction Addiction book club, because those sound like great picks for April, Ange.
Yeah, amazing.
And if you check out Ange's book chatter, you can check out Fiction Addiction.
Brilliant. We love Ange's channel.
So Katie Reads Book says, I've had Demon Copperhead out from the library for 4 weeks. Tonight. Fire Rush is released. Yeah, I've got mixed feelings about Fire Rush, because I think it sounds really interesting to me, and the sample of the audiobook sounded like it's really well narrated. It's not.
What's the premise of that one?
That's the reggae in the 70s, reggae scene in the 70s.
Yeah, like music stuff doesn't always appeal to me in books particularly.
But for audiobook, it might work well, like you said. So
that's why I thought that might be one to try on audio. Kate says, I'm going for 16 because I'm never disappointed. reading Copperhead, then Marriage Portrait.
Honestly, that is a great 2 to start with, and yeah, you can be with me, Kate. We're trying to do it. We'll help each other. We'll get
Go
there.
for it. And Jennifer Loves Books. I ordered Marriage Portrait a couple of weeks ago, assuming it would be longlisted. Very good ordering, Jennifer.
You were correct.
Good planning. Camilla want to read Homesick, Black Butterflies, and the Bandit Queens, but not sure of the order. Fair enough. And Ange says, thank you, ladies. You're very welcome, Ange. I do love your channel. And Ange says, Fire Rush is another one I'm interested in. Yeah, that is another one with the stunning cover, I think, though.
Yeah, that was the one that Alice was psychic over.
It sounds like I think.
Yeah,
So, got lots of plans.
Yes.
With everybody's plans, we hope that you'll join us on Sunday. That's this Sunday coming up at 2 o'clock. And I think we're over on Jem's channel, aren't we?
We are. And the lovely Sarah at Your True Shelf, who was in the comments, I don't know if she's still there or putting the kids to bed, but she will be our guest person on Sunday. So yeah, we'll be talking to Sarah a bit more about her initial thoughts and what she started reading, if anything, for the Women's Prize.
We've just got a comment about script. Someone just said, Leanne said, you can click. I would recommend it personally. Jem has it, uses it as well.
I would recommend it. It's really good. If you actually go, if you know Scott at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, he did a video not so long ago. I think it's the one about alternatives to Amazon, and there's a link in his description that gets you 3 months free trial.
Yeah,
so
which
get 3 months free trial.
Also, there's also there's another app that's called Zigzag. It's XIG, and that's really good as well. Oh yay, Sarah's still here. Hi, Sarah.
We're looking forward to speaking to you on Sunday, Sarah.
And I think Sarah and Nikki are buddy reading the Marriage Portrait. So
brilliant.
I reckon that's where she'll be starting.
Good timing. And Ange says she would recommend script as well. I'm the only one here without script, but I am interested in trying script, but because I only really do audiobooks out of what script does, I am like holding back.
They do graphic, they do poems, they do graphic novels, they do, honestly.
Yeah, I'm very tempted by the graphic novels, unfortunately. I need to actually do my challenge first and then I can have script. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah.
Sarah, are you prepared for it though? You know you're going to be with us 3 nutters, so like
yeah, prepare yourself.
Yeah.
So shall we say just a little brief word about what the plod on Sunday is going to be, the format of? Just one of you want to say?
I think the general plan is to have a bit of a chat about anything that we have read between now and Sunday, what we're thinking. Obviously, we'll have a bit of a chat with Sarah, and then we'll do sort of reading sprints and just general chat in between. So it'll probably be about 20 minutes chat at the beginning and then 20 minutes sprint and then on off for about 2 hours. So yeah, that's
very chilled,
very relaxed, just very relaxed.
Very chilled.
We're going to wing it.
So do bring any long listed books that you've managed to acquire between now and Sunday. Any books you've started, or any books really. Just come and join us and have a bit of a read and have a bit of a chat about the Women's Prize.
It's just going to be natter. It's just going to be what we want it to be. Is like kind of like a hangout with friends, just talking. Obviously, like. Yeah.
We can talk about other books as well, though. We're not like.
No, we're not going to kick you out if you're talking about.
But you know, you can read whatever you like. We're not.
We're not going to kick you off the chat if you're talking about something.
We're not going to be here. And what are you reading? What are you reading?
In the
70s. You're not allowed to read tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow because it wasn't long listed.
It wasn't long listed.
Put it down. No, it's going to be very laid back. So do come and join us, whatever you want to read and whatever you want to chat about. But we will be mainly chatting about the women's crisis.
Yeah.
Alice says, you can do it, Alice. Yes.
Well, we're pushing Alice well for her challenge. You're really close now, aren't you, Alice? Tell them how you get. Oh, you don't want to.
I have read 19 out of 30, so I've still got quite a way to go, and this is definitely going to hamper it quite significantly. It's best not to think about the 7 library books I've just ordered.
Let's not think about it now.
We've got a long time. 3 months is a long time. You've got to remember this.
Ellie agreed that Scribd is fantastic.
Yeah.
And so thank you.
You're welcome.
And Sarah says, I will also have 2 kids with me at home, also nuts. As soon as I tuned into something, this could be how it goes. Yeah, standard.
That's fine.
So,
yeah, to be fair, I've got the boys on my own on Sunday as well, which I only discovered like yesterday. So there may just be chaos.
And I might be at my mum's house. So yeah. I don't know how, but it'll be fine though. I'll be upstairs in her rooms and be fine.
Oh.
I might get cats in.
Kate says she uses Scribd mainly for graphic novels and love it. Yeah, that's what I would really like to read.
Honestly, I loved that. Honestly, Kate, because they've got, I think there was Bingo. Is it Bingo Love was on there? There was a few. I don't know. There's a few really good books.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So. I think that was probably it for today. Now we've recovered from the shock of the 16 books.
It was a shock.
And the excitement of the day. We all seem to be winding down a bit. It's been a hectic day of excitement.
It has.
It's been so much fun though. Like I feel like it's like almost just as much fun waiting for it as it is.
Yeah. It was a lot of build up for like 4 minutes of boom, boom, boom. These are the books.
Yeah, it was worth it though, because we were all shocked. So
yeah, well worth it. I think it's great because, both of you have described it as bookish Christmas, and it is kind of like Christmas, except you always get a lot of surprises.
Honestly, overall, I think because I kind of I'm not going to tell you what I kind of right. When I was looking at the list, I did 3 categories like no, pretty, nope, meh, and yeah. And I'm not going to tell you what I put in what categories for now, but my yeah category far outweighs the meh and the no, pretty, nope. So I think that means it's a successful. I think it's going to be a good list.
Yes.
I will make some categories as soon as I've reread all the blurbs and seen what I've let myself in for.
Indeed.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for coming today. It's been really, really nice chatting to all of you. And thanks for sharing with us what your thoughts are on the long list. And hopefully we'll chat to a lot of you again on Sunday.
Yes.
And thanks for joining me, ladies.
Thank you for having us on your channel, Alice.
Thanks. You're very welcome. And we'll speak to you soon. Bye.